Hello, everyone. Before I say anything, I'm actually going to zoom in so you can't see. If you weren't here last video, then please watch the last video. A big important thing happened, and I would much rather you guys not get spoiled because, like, it is a pretty big, like, thing. So, yeah. Ooh, I tried to delete what I'm currently recording. Anyways, with that, I'm going to go up here. World War One has started, or in other words, the of Revolution. And you know what? Military alliances are gonna be on. They will be on, I will clarify that, but I will have them at like a lower opacity. So like you can like just faintly see what team they're on. Anyways, we're actually going to start down here at the Beneluxian border with the red team down here, where we see them instantly get kicked out. Because like there's also Iberian troops, Polish troops, because the Polish don't really have anything to do. Like they could do a naval, like they could do this, but like what would the point be? That's just so far. So yeah, they're just gonna like be supplying their allies. They down here though, they do get like a solid front line. They get pushed back over to here, but they can't really get through. Also, I'm just gonna slightly change this because like it's very similar to the German border. You know what? That's good enough. Let me just color match it. Okay, that's good. And I believe that's the only one. Yep. Okay, we got a good color. Anyways, where the red team are, well, they may be successful here, they are not successful around. With this rebellion surprisingly strong, they might be being funded by someone. But, yeah. We see the Polish actually managed to get back a bit, like, contrary to what I said a moment ago. But that's mainly because of this rebellion. Over here with this green rebellion, actually, I'm just gonna change the rebellion color up here. I'm just gonna change it. Are there any yellow colored countries? There's not a banana colored country anymore, I don't think. So, bam. Also, my laptop is lagging a lot. I'm gonna close some things. So I will continue in a moment after I'm done with that. Okay, that's better. Anyways, yeah, I'm changing this rebellion's color. Actually, I'm gonna make it a bit lighter. Ooh, yeah, no. Yeah, that's good, that's good. That's good color. Anyways, with over here, they get pushed back, but they manage to keep this city. And they do... I did not click on the right one. They do, however, begin pushing far into this thing, this rebellion, taking all of the coastline, which also means that they don't really have coastal access anymore. And we see like a naval war happen, like between the Polish and the French, and like stalemates looking like this. Anyways, over here in Iberia, while the red team is succeeding over here, and not just over there, but they're also succeeding in not just fighting back in this rebellion, taking this city, as well as a bunch more, eventually getting to where there aren't any cities, but they also managed to take back all of their nautical claims. Although that's about where the good news ends for them. Because if we pull up the rankings real quick, where is it? Okay, here it is. Franco-Iberian, the FIE is at first place, and they also have the third place country on their side. as well as the 5th, the 6th, and then just like the rest, with the exception of, oh yeah, with the exception of them. Anyways, and because of that, that means they can begin invading. Eventually, like this whole southern area is just like taken, and like that's a big hit to their economy. But it does get taken back like quite a bit. They take back about half of this city. All just give me one momentum. That was expected. Anyways, while the blue team does have while the Franco-Iberian, I should probably change the name. They have Italy. The Franco-Ibero-Italian Union. Nah, Franco-Iberian sounds cooler. While they are succeeding here, this area gets captured, and that's very close to their capital. As well as areas over here getting captured, as well as this army group getting encircled and falling over to the red team. I believe that is. Yeah, I just wanted to double check. And although they're succeeding here, they are definitely failing quite horribly. In other areas over here, they begin pushing into, as well as take they just secure their southern capital as well as just all of this. But we see something else happen, and that is a pink rebellion breaks out. Never mind, I'm changing that color. There's no lime countries nearby. The nearest one is Scotland. Even that is that's more of a yellowy lime. This is more of a green lime. So we see a lime rebellion get made, with them pushing around the occupied Iberian forces, eventually taking all of this, leading to these guys taking all of their land back, as well as taking this, as they were fine with taking that, because yeah. Anyways, also here background noise, that is not my fault, so my bad. Anyways, yeah, they take all this, and it seems like the red team is going to fail horribly. But don't forget, they have Norway. And Norway is a pretty strong country. Hell, they're in the top 10. Where is it? Oh, it's... look, they're even in the top 10. And that's surprising considering they're, I wouldn't say a new nation, but... Actually, no, yeah, I would say a new nation. They're, a decently new nation. A decently established nation. Anyway, they make a landing over here. How have they made a landing over here? Well, oh. Yep, the Norwegians have taken, the Danish military, it's not even the Navy, it's not even it just capitulated. They're now on the side of the thingies. Whatchamacallit? On the side of Norwegians, and I'm gonna be honest, it's probably gonna end in, a day. I'm actually just gonna slightly shift this color because it's very similar to, them. Yeah, it's the exact same color as Norway. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. And why did Norway do this? Essentially just to blockade over here. They don't really have any plans on invading Poland. Hell, these two actually have Norway and Poland have pretty good relations in this series. Not sure about real life. Not sure about Polish relations with other countries. But yeah. Anyways, with these guys being blockaded, there's now a bit less help going into the Triangle Squad, which means they can push back this rebellion a decent amount right back to this border, and they only have 8.5 cities left, and they can also begin pushing back the Beneluxians. they retake all of this land. Hell, they even go into the capital and besiege it. But a gigantic rebellion overthrowing like all the military that was there happens, and I'm gonna be honest, right back to where we were a moment ago. And we're gonna see something else happen over here. As you know, the French are the English secretly, and by that I mean like, as you know, like I believe the Green Belgian country and the French, they both landed in the British Isles, and eventually they gained independence, or they established a country. One of the two. So essentially, like these guys are like the father of these guys. Anyways, um, the father is killing the son, or like the daughter. I don't know. Eventually, they get cut off. Although there isn't like they don't really like go very far into their actual naval waters. They take a bit around here and like this, so like that's about it. But something bad, like extremely bad, is gonna go and like happen for the red team. We see the Iberians just like lose control over all their colony. Like they just like, if I did like a whole nautical plane map, like the red team would be like something like this, but like if I was to do the triangle and the square one, the square one would be roughly, you can't see that. It would be roughly this, what the triangles have like in the Atlantic. The squares essentially just have like, I'm not joking, they have I cannot click on it, correct. Like, they have a lot. Like, this and this are the square, the rest is the triangle. So they have essentially just like cut off contact between the Iberians. How are the French hitting spin wheel of death? Committing changes? What? No, 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 no. Wait. Haha! Big brain. Wait. Layer visibility. Oh, that's a bit far back. Um. Okay, here's where we were. I think. Yep, right there. Because as you can see, like they've essentially just been besieged, which means they can't like do much. Like all of this gets taken by the Franco-Iberians, and the Franco-Iberians are taking the Iberians. Although over here is a bit of a different story. I didn't get a good invading color. These guys are invading them. Eventually, they managed to take a lot, and like they even managed to take these islands. I believe they're the Balearic Islands or something kind of similar. I guess. I think. I'm not actually sure. But if you're wondering what the nautical map looks like, it looks something like this. Yeah. And something detrimental to the triangle, no, to the square gang is going to happen. We see this rebellion begin invading into the Iberians. Eventually, they take everything north of this river, and then something far, far, far worse is gonna happen. These guys rebel away. Now, do you see why it's called the War of Rebellion? Yeah, lots of rebellions are happening. Yeah, these guys are essentially just dead. Although the Iberians didn't really have much military here, so it's not very surprising how all that happened. Where is a majority of their military? Well, first of all, we know that a lot of it was over here doing this funny stuff. Where was the rest? Invading into Africa like it loves to. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, like, the Romans, like, there's like a decently sized gap between 4th and 7th. Hell, like, there's even a decent, like, a small gap between, like, 4th and 5th. So it's gonna be a bit, like, easy. Eventually, like, this western area falls. But don't worry, the Beneluxians are here. Don't mean they're gonna do much, though. They're gonna do some. Like, and by some, I mean a lot in, like, this sort of meaning. 'Cause, like, they're gonna take a lot of land. They begin going into, like, a spearhead sort of shape, which is the first time I believe this has happened. Or, like, a big spearhead. They spearhead up to this sea, and begin cutting across, eventually reaching to this sea, and instead of cutting to this city down here, they decide to besiege it with some of their military, and then cut upwards, or like north, and like just they just end up just brainily big, which just leads to like the southern areas like falling over, and that means that this area is just gonna it just got died. And wow, that was a big Uno reverse card. But like, this is like just a big bunch of nothing that they got. So they just begin doing this. And instead of going for the important areas, they begin going into the non-important areas. And that is because they just cut off this area from this area. Well, they can still just, like, they can still just go, war. But like, they aren't really cut off, but like, they're cut off in spirit. And eventually just like, just pockets begin like, surrendering over, thinking this is just like the end of their country. Mainly just like here, this area, as well as like an area containing 4 cities. And using that, they connect up and cut off this area even more. So bang. But uh-oh, guess who's just gotten their military all together? That's right, it's England. Yeah, the English are here, and they are here. And they aren't the strongest country, but they are a bit below the Iberians, and if you have a 5th, like a top 5 power, top 7, and a top 9, you're gonna, and if you're, like, a bit, your military is also up here, it's not gonna be good. Because you're fighting the strongest country, the 5th strongest country, and the 7th and the 9th. And don't forget, the Greeks are also, and like, not just the Greeks, the Bulgarians, the Serbians, the Croats, the Polish, probably a bit of, like, it's a bit hard, I guess. Like, all of them are, like, still supplying them. And don't forget, these guys are a part of the war too, which I definitely didn't forget about. And these guys are used to the desert. So they begin just, like, pushing into the desert. Eventually they just, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, just, like, bang. Like, that's a big country area, isn't it? I have to cough now. Anyways, I'm done coughing. Anyways, back to war scenario. Um, oh yeah, Iberia, bang. Yeah, they weren't really good at holding all that land. And if we look at this colony, I'll tell you what's going on with the colony, because the colony's colonying colonel. What do I mean by that? I mean it's essentially just falling apart. It's like all of this southern area just falls over to the rebellion. This Green Rebellion actually understands what they're doing, and eventually they manage to take a lot, and I mean a lot, of this country. And obviously now that they don't have an area to connect us to, bang. And all they have is this country that looks like Benin, but no, it looks like Elvis. Yeah, that reminds me of Elvis. I can't really say why. I don't know why. Why do you look like Elvis, Mr. Rebellion? No, Mr. Not Rebellion shape. Also, bang. No. There's. Oh my god, I just realized. That's gonna be annoying. So instead. Anyways, that's all fell over. This is retaken by the Polish. Bang, bat, boom, bing. This is retaken by the Polish. Bam. And then just the rest just falls over to the blue military. The green military is kind of bad. And all that's left is this little sliver. But bam. Yep, just got taken by the green country. And if you're wondering what about this rebellion, what they're doing, yeah, they just join up with this rebellion. Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for over here. Oh, nope, before I forget, because I know I'm gonna forget, because I'm very stupid. This rebellion takes yoink. And yeah, and I'm gonna end the video with one last thing, because yeah, we see them take all of this as they finally gotten their crap together. And the third strongest military, they fully just put defensive forces here. And now we finally see the red team, the former strongest country in the world, actually get their crap together. With them making an invasion into the Italian portions of Franco-Iberia. Hold on, just give me a moment. Oh boy, I've been interrupted for a biscuit. That's a good biscuit. Anyways. Oh yeah, right. Red team begins invading into these guys. Eventually besieging all of here. And marking a big victory for Red team. As they begin invading into these guys. Pretty encircling these guys, except for this little bit, but they will not give up. And also invading into their former ally of Italy. And I'm gonna end the video here with also World War One's not over yet, don't worry. It's a partial victory, but it's a partial victory for both sides so far. Which, unlike World War One, in real life, this is actually different. Anyways, this video is out of my mouth. This video is 24 minutes long, and I'm gonna go now. Bye bye.